Test-driven development is not a testing technique. That is, it's not a QA function. It's a way of developing code, which means we still need some quality assurance. You'll see that happen in this live coding session. Welcome back for another hour or so of live coding. Hi, Mud Shark. It is always good to have you. Hey, Eric. All right. We're ready to get this party started. My name is John Reed. I am a technical coach and developer. And I just made a change to my Blue Sky account by going from Q coding in a long thing to my custom handle there, which is my website. So that's a thing. Let's see. Last time, so anyone who wants to can go back to YouTube. It might still be up on Twitch, but that eventually rolls away. To find the last session, if any of this interests you, we had a surprise in TDD Call Your Shot, where instead of failing, the test crashed, and that was an unpleasant discovery, but something to lean into. We avoided it, or adding a runtime assert doesn't avoid the problem, but it adds diagnostic information explaining the problem, which is really about temporal coupling. And the more I think about it, that shows a design weakness. We should be able to design our stuff to avoid temporal coupling. If you really need to call one thing before you call another thing, Alex Ozun has a terrific talk about, and that he gave at last year's Swiftcraft conference in the UK, about making impossible states impossible. And there are ways to say, for example, with our problem was we needed to call make new secret before getting the feedback pegs. That there's a way to design it so that, you get something from this that wouldn't otherwise exist, that is required for you to call getting the initial feedback pegs. Anyway, so that's something we might clean up. Other stuff we discussed were just a discussion about acceptance testing frameworks or lack thereof, and that Xcode 16 includes a new Swift format, not to be confused with Swift format support. That's pretty neat. Eric, by the way, I saw Osi Makito. Osi Makito got into the top 6 in testing? Are you kidding me? Ironic, because I want to see this. Happy Father's Day, indeed. Where do I find this? Eric, can you point us to it? Packages testing. Oh my gosh. Osi Makito, and that's me too. It just happens not to be under my name, but under the name of the official Hamcrest organization. I am boggled. It seemed those are two dinosaurs because they are Objective-C, but that's pretty fun. Hey, I wrote a new library. Speaking of libraries, called FailKit. I just like I've been kind of obsessed with it, and it's taken me away from making videos. But this is a way. Let me make this bigger. To a tool for people like me who like writing custom assertions that are a little more complicated, but I don't want to write two versions with one name being for XCTest and another name being for Swift testing. Instead, you call this fail helper, and it will route to XCTest or Swift testing appropriately. And it has some other, I think, pretty cool features. Heck, let me just walk through it for a second here. Precondition. Yeah, there's a difference between, subtle difference between them, and I don't remember what they are. Subtle. Anyway, to give a quick introduction to FailKit, normally if this is just an example of a simple assertion helper, a custom assertion, where I want a better message, and I want to say what is expected and what is actual, not just that two things aren't equal. And normally you write XCT fail, or if you're doing this in Swift testing, you make a call to issue record. Well, call this instead, and that'll figure out which one is active and do the stuff. Also, I don't like this noise in my test messages when I'm dealing with optionals, because when you have an optional, I want to know what the value is. I know it has a value at that point. Otherwise, it would say nil. So I'm just want a little less noise about optionals. Also, strings. I want to see strings as strings, including special characters. So those are little helpers. There's a describe helper that makes life better. You say describe your thing, and this is pretty easy to extend. I imagine this will grow and become more capable at describe. Maybe I'll borrow some stuff from the point-free custom dump things, which look pretty cool. Anyway, thought I'd share that with y'all. So assert won't run in release mode, precondition will. Okay. So one is basically debug only. It's a question of whether how you want it to crash. Yeah. That makes sense. Good to know. All right. Let's get into our main show. Enough riffraff there. We are working on Mastermind drawing. We want multiple rounds. We want to show the round number, and that's where we are. The round number is currently, we started TDDing this, and that's where we ran into trouble last time. What I thought would be super simple turned out to be a little more complicated, but once we figured it out, we figured it out. So we've got the show round number, and right now that is done with the fake it till you make it silly implementation of a hard-coded one, which works when you only have one round, which we do. Why is round, why does it have a default here? That seems unnecessary. Let's clean that up. We're going to specify round numbers in here, I assume. That's just a minor test cleanup thing. When the tests pass, it commits and pushes. All right, so shows round number. I actually want a second one. So we want to now do triangulation to force us to do something like this. Say for round 2, we expect the round number to be 2. Call your shot. This will fail saying 1 is not equal to 2. Here we go. And I'm doing TDD right now, not full TCR. TCR is fun, but I'm afraid it might be a stretch beyond to show people what TDD looks like with Swift UI. So there we have it. 1 is not equal to 2. Oh, this is another funny thing. Why does it... Oh no, those are strings. I've noticed that it... Anyway, XCTest is a little funny. Okay, so now we can make this. What happens to the round? The round view goes in here. It is stored. It is not stored. So let's store it. And I should be just able to do a private let like that. Having stored it now, and that's an int, should be able to take the round. Wait, this is the round view. Hold on, John. That's the round view. It needs to get down to the code guess view. Okay. Then down it goes. Kind of unfortunate that we have to do this really ping-pongy thing of first I have to save it in here and put it up here and send it down here. But we don't make the code guess view until we create the body. So let's pass it in. Actually, I want to try something new. Let's ask a friend. I'm starting to use cursor more again because it has grown up and changed. It is not the cursor I knew. Let's see. So we want to pass down to code guess view and use it for round number. Let's see if it does this. Adds it at the end. I guess that's okay. And where is the whole, like, accept these changes? Hold on. Eep, 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 eep. It's not fitting on my screen. That's part of the problem. Accept. I think this can run, this could run the tests as well, but I mean, we could try it. I'm just going to come over here and run the tests. I predict this will pass. That doesn't have to be a var, does it? Let's see here. This is a little bit of functionality. Show correct round number. Now, can this just be, can't this just be? In fact, can't this just be a let? Well, let's find out. If it's happy, it's happy. One of the things I like so much about TDD is some of the inherent laziness of it. Because the feedback is so quick, we can just try something and see if it's okay. All right. That is feeling good. Is there anything to refactor over here? I guess I jumped into refactoring over here, which is fine. That's just natural. Doop, 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 doop. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I'm going to call this done. Means that's done. I could. But we are in XE-test. Because this is using View Inspector, this much could probably work just fine with inside of Swift testing because we're not mutating the round view. But I'm afraid to change it in case we need to mutate it. I could bring in Bill Wake's tool for XE-test, parameterized XE-tests, which is very nice. But I don't want to do that for just one case. If we hit more of these, maybe. Yeah. So glad that Swift testing does. I haven't used, I think all the parameterized tests I've written have been here live with you folks. All right, what's next? Now we want to loop this, change this into many of one. Let's set this into action. And let's go to where the round view is used, which is probably in the game. Yeah. Game screen. Ah, there's round 1 hard-coded. Now we want the rounds to go bottom up, round 1 at the bottom, working closer and closer to the top. And we do a similar thing. We did a similar thing. Here, I'll show you. For the color codes over here. Let's find that. There's how we did it. For each, last to first. Well, starting test driven, we won't introduce that yet. But let's bring up the game screen tests. Doo-doo. Showing game screen sets game secret. Initial color guess is unselected. Oh, we're going to have to expand these to this. This is something else we need to do. Shoot. Is that our ID is guess 1, but it should be, if we're going to have lots of these, that should be like guess 1-1. Kind of like this. Round 1, whole number 1, 2, 3, 4. This is why coding is so interesting. There are surprises all the time. Include round in peg IDs. Let's do that. So here basically it's kind of Mikado method. I mean, there's nothing preventing us from looping, except the loop's got to work. If we're going to parameterize if we're going to parameterize this, then it also needs to parameterize the other things before we can have a successful loop. So let's do that. I'm just taking a quick look. Just a couple places, good. Okay, how to do this? I think I'll start here and break things by writing the test changing the test to what we wish we had. So not doing TCR. But instead updating this. This will fail those 2 tests at least. View with ID. Why are these ID and not accessibility ID? I guess it didn't matter. They need to be distinct. So the difference between a regular ID is we need so that SwiftUI can tell components apart, especially if they animate or move around, as opposed to an accessibility ID, which is just a hidden thing. But this actually affects the SwiftUI layout engine. So it's good that it's like that. Let's find it. Change this from a regular expression to text. There we go, round view. Oh, so here's round. We should just be able to say round dash like that. Might, yeah. That is right now, there's nothing that would enable a person to play this game if they can't distinguish colors or if they can't see at all. So yeah, accessibility will become important. So this should pass now. Like everything should be green. So this is a different sort of test-driven development. I'm taking existing tests and changing a little bit about what I expect them to do, and now I've gotten that to pass. Include round in and this turns out to be really important then. Otherwise, we would have had clashing IDs as soon as we went to multiple rounds, and SwiftUI would probably have just like thrown up and we'd go, why? I don't know. So that's a good discovery. So there's a slight difference between discovery trees and the Mikado method, and I did something here that was more Mikado method, which is to say, in order to do this, we need to do that. As opposed to, in order to do this, we need to do this and other things all down here. The parent still has some knowledge in it. So Mikado method is very important, especially for legacy code refactoring. Very useful tool. Little short book. So now we should be able to do this. Let's go back to the game screen. Okay, so now let's see if we can't be lazy. Well, hey, This may not be your first time here, but first time chatter. Murgahere or Murgahere? I'm guessing Murgahere. Cheers. Welcome. We're doing test-driven development in Swift UI. Murga here. All right, Murga. Come on, get in there. What's wrong with you, cursor? There we go. Let's put it in a for each with multiple rounds where it loops over only one at first. I don't know if it's going to understand that. There we go, 1 to 1. Let's try that. Can this run the tests? Hang on a second. Just call run tests. There we go. Let's try it here. Right. Oh, XC Beautify. Hold on. I'm using a different shell. I'm experimenting here. Just trying this. Hey, stop. Add this to your path. All right, now let's try it. It's going to end up not as pretty, but I bet you it'll still run and pass over here. Not going to show me anything? I guess not. It's not as fast, it seems like. Probably because it has to, I don't know, build it all up. No, there it goes. Well, Michaela. From the future. Okay, because this is running in a different shell, it's kind of getting weird. Let's run it from over here. Where it's faster anyway. So nice to see Michaela in person a couple times this past week. So it passed. This will be a medium risk. So Michaela, I mean, I have, what's it called? Version 26. Oh, you're still around? How long are you around? You're saying dinner tomorrow. That's a possibility. Shoot me a note. So this is a medium risk refactoring. Medium because it is test supported, not provable. But I want to try something right now, and that is to bring up the preview. And let's say, can we go? Let's see it come up. Michaela has put out a fun app for connecting with people at events called Fruitful. You can stick the link in there, Michaela. And is this going to come up or not? And this is a tiny app. There we go. Okay, now can we, if we go from 1 to 10, I think it'll be in the wrong direction. Oh, it's an H stack. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. This needs to be like a V stack here. So let's embed. Hello. Embed in VStack. Except I think it needs to come out. Come on. Get my invalid character. What did I do? And ignoring for a second the funny looking thing. I'm just hacking right now. Okay. There we go. Can we go from oh. Yeah, probably was a shift space. So this appearance is wrong. In fact, right now, having pushed this, let's reset and run. Okay, so it's still okay layout-wise, but as soon as I stick this inside of VStack, probably because the VStack has some inherent padding, it is throwing it off. Let's try this again. Embed in VStack. Yeah, that's throwing it off. Thanks for coming by. Send me a note, Michaela. I'm glad you come through, even briefly. It's nice. Sounds good. I'll look for it there. So, what's up? What is up with the layout? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. It's the wrong place. Spacing to 0. Is it spacing, padding, inset, something? Oh, inside of here? Thank you. That sure looks horrible. Great. Not what we want. The round view. Arg. Arg. Can't commit this yet. Yeah, let's try. Hey, Morgan, I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm glad you're along for the ride. Is the VStack here adding its own padding or insets? It changes the layout. That doesn't help. Well, we know that. Hello. So one of the things that is nice now about Cursor is it went out to look for the file, the other file. And I'm used to having to stick in enough context or open tabs to say, you know, this is the information you have. Now it goes and finds it for me. So it's suggesting this. Let's try that. Wow. Now let's review what it did. I don't quite believe it. Round view is stacking its children vertically by default. So I thought that, well, yes, it does. And yet somehow it was laying out okay. How was it ever working? I guess is my question. We look at round view, which now has the H stack here. How was this ever working? Maybe it must be because of how it was laid out in here inside of an H stack. And so it's like, you're not telling me whether it's H stack or V stack. I'm inside of an H stack, so I'm just going to slap it in horizontally. That's my guess, is that when it's implicit, it actually does some trickery. It's not just a V stack by default, an implicit V stack. It was tuple view. What the heck is that? Well, the name tells me a view of multiple views. Oh. So this is good and was important to discover. So now we should be able to say 1 to 10. Boom. Gross. Let's get rid of that spacing. better. Gross alignment issues and the wrong direction. But for now, gonna keep it like this and say that's good. We've made some progress. This has not been test driven because it is layout stuff. Which makes it a little higher risk because it was manual. Hang on a second. Yeah, all right. So this is layout for expanding beyond one round. Okay, so now to test drive the layout of multiple rounds, I want to try something just as an experiment. If we lay out multiple rounds, what does it do? These are probably all active now. Whoop! A grid would help, and it would make Mudshark so happy. But also fixing the alignment probably might help of the round. But I bet you're right. Yeah, so this is not ready for prime time. It's just slapping it in. Oh, it's not doing anything. I don't think. Let's try this in for real. Looks broken. Looks pretty broken. Ooh, what happened? Unless I'm by luck not getting anything. Okay, well, no. This should have had it's a combination of the colors. These pegs should all be filled with at least something. I think the peg view is broken. Oh, great. It must not be finding. Oh, the feedback pegs have their own ID that doesn't include the round number. Let's see this if we can fix this real quick. Yeah. Okay. Feedback pegs. Feedback peg view has a single index. I kind of expected it to fill them all, though, just like it was filling all the rounds. Let's go back to the check button. Check button action is passed in. Go back. Oh, this is broke. We have one set of feedback pegs. It's not associated with the round. I think I just broke things fairly well. So how does it work? I don't know. But we've got more to do. So before we can show 10 empty rounds, and really before I can do many of one, we need to do this. All right. Right now it's broken. So let's fix it. Uh-oh. Did the change, I bet it's the change in the round view ID. Let's confirm that for a second. These things are more tied together than we thought. So it's guess such and so. If I just roll that back for a second. How did I break things? And why is it not showing up in my tests? Oh my gosh. This is really disturbing. Well, this is where we started. Let's git bisect. Git bisect start. Git bisect bad to start with. No. And now we go to show correct round number. My goodness. What a thing of surprises. Try it again. All colors. Something is broke. And I don't know when. And I don't know what. Dang it. When did this happen? How did this happen? Stop. Git bisect. Abort. How do I stop the git bisect? Might be the one of many change, but yeah, ugh. Nope. Git bisect reset. Oops. When did things go awry? I thought the bisect would help us, but I'm going to try this. This is the first change we made today. Let's go back here. Oops. Thank you. It's a good idea. Let's clean it. And doing manual testing. Like a caveman. What the heck? What in the world? Well, let's look at our risk things. Here's a high risk thing. Let's go back here. Oh man, I don't know what's happening. Well, that's a funny place to end this. Something is deeply broken. The tests right. It is. That seems like a good theory. That the check button itself is simply not working at all. That it's updating the feedback pegs, which is probably not getting down into the, we're passing the feedback pegs into the round view. Okay. I think it's the introduction of the round view itself. The round view should own the feedback pegs. Like it should be part of the view. I mean, it's creating, oh, well, it's creating the feedback view in here. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. Backwards in time. Now I've ticked Xcode off. Well, I don't know why it always asks this. There's our feedback. Hell. So, what do we know? We know that we are missing a test. Like, this is actually entirely broken right now. We don't know why. And we weren't stopped. So it's probably, all the unit tests are fine. It's probably an integration-y thing. Well, that's a surprise. Let's capture some of this. What have we done today? I think, yeah, Garbob, it's like, um, there is, I see no problem with committing and pushing even straight into trunk, but we weren't stopped. We're missing a test. Um, but it does show, I think, the importance this when we could have caught this sooner. And in practice, when I'm TDDing a production app, uh, after I go through everything and blah 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 blah, I will run it once at least to see is it okay. So let's put this knowledge in. Um, I must have gone the entire session without running the app. The thing though about missing it is it really does reveal a missing test. More than one, more than I think or thing. Yeah. Uh, the reason it's important to do this is to prevent bugs. There's to discover bugs. But the reason to do this is to prevent them. We want complete assurance in our system. And this would have been caught pretty quickly. No, we want things automated, but it would have been caught quickly just by a manual run. It erodes our trust. Uh, that's pretty significant. We got to rebuild the trust. Sometimes this means writing a UI test, particularly when it involves navigation between screens. And that's where a UI test can come in handy. We don't have any acceptance tests. That gets back to this question. Yeah, that is almost certainly it. Let me put that note down. Oops. Thank you for that thought. Yes, that is a good thing. This is a good reminder that TDD isn't a quality assurance system. TDD is development. It's a weighted code. So do actual run. This may bother some people, but test-driven development is a development technique. It is not a replacement for QA, but we do want to build up our system so that we can just push. Would you release it? Push straight to trunk. Bugs go into the trunk or into main. That isn't a problem. Well, we want to discover them and prevent them. So definitely don't ship. Without a manual sanity check. All right, folks, that's a wrap. Let's call it done for now. Thanks for joining. Next week, I will be away, so let's take next Sunday off. And what else? Is there anything else to mention? Oh, well, there's the usual YouTube stuff to mention. Train the algorithm. And I really appreciate not just likes on videos, but the comments. It's nice to hear back from people. So if you've watched this far on YouTube, add a note. I'd like that. Next week is Midsummer Weekend. I don't even know what that is. All I know is that yesterday was No King's Day, and the final tally from the alternative side of the National Park Service is that 12.1 million people turned out in the U.S. And that is significant. It's not just because it's big, but it's big enough. Research shows that once you hit, there has never been a protest that hits 3.5% of the population that hasn't eventually succeeded. So there's hope in the air. The fight is still going to be long, but hang in there, Americans, and hang in there, the rest of us, the rest of you around the world, waiting for America to find its sanity. I will enjoy Midsummer Weekend, Mudshark, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care.